Well, we will go ahead and get started. We'd like to welcome Scottie Scheffler to the interview room here at the RBC Canadian Open. Scottie, thanks for joining us. You're making your first start in the event. With that said, why don't we just start with that? A couple thoughts on the decision to be here. You've had a chance to see some of the course at least, and just your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I typically like playing the week before major, and so this was pretty easy one for me to decide to play in. And then fortunately we draw a really good field this week, and so definitely looking forward to competing against these guys. And the rough this week's definitely going to prepare me well for next week, so that's definitely a good bonus. But yeah, first time in Canada, so should be a lot of fun. Toronto's treated me well so far, and looking forward to the rest of the week.
You last start, you nearly got it done at Colonial with your playoff loss to Sam Burns. I'll save everybody time and won't recap your season so far. Just a few thoughts on how you're feeling coming into the week, kind of mentally as well as physically with the game.
Yeah, physically, my game's in a good spot. I've been playing good golf this year, and mentally I was able to get some good rest after Colonial. I played 3 in a row, and so I had a good week at home last week, just getting rested and prepared for I think I got 3 in a row out here on the road, and so definitely feeling good going in this week.
Okay, good. Well, with that, we'll take a few questions. If you would just stick your hand up, and I will give you guys, start with Adam right here in the front row.
Hey, Scottie. Just curious about how much this week is going to be preparing you for next week. Obviously this is a big tournament, it's a national open. How do you manage to kind of stay in the present versus thinking ahead to the U.S. Open next week?
Yeah, that's always been kind of a good skill that I have, is being able to stay in the present. And I'm extremely competitive, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm able to do that so well. Yes, I'm preparing for next week's U.S. Open, but I really want to win this week. I really want to win every time I tee up and play. And so for me, just staying present, trying to hit golf shots and not overthink things is always what's worked best, and it's something that I'll be able to do week to week.
Yeah, you can stand it next door.
Hey, Scottie. John Chidley-Hill from the Canadian Press. Obviously, this is one of the oldest tournaments in the world. How does it feel to be, maybe staking your claim to a little bit of history this week?
Yeah, it should be fun. I haven't had a chance to play this tournament yet before in my career. The last 2 years it's obviously been canceled, and so it's definitely good to be here in Canada and playing in a historic event on a pretty historic golf course. This place is pretty old, so I played the last 10 holes today in the Pro-Am, and it's a pretty cool golf course, a lot of elevation changes, and I'm excited to go out and play it under competition.
Bob?
Sorry to be the guy to ask this question, but there's a lot of noise going on around the golf world right now. What do you make of what's happening over there and how it's affecting what's happening here?
I would say stuff here is pretty unaffected. I haven't really noticed that any guys are missing. Maybe outside of Dustin being an RBC guy for so long, I think he's really the only one that I noticed where he's not here. But I'm out here competing against these guys. We got the best players in the world. I think we have 5 of the top 10 playing here this week. And so the best players in the world are out here playing golf, and I'm looking forward to competing against them this week. And I don't really know what's going on over there, so I don't really have much to say.
Anybody else? Adam? Okay, we'll go right here or back there since you're closer, and then we'll come back up front.
Scottie, you mentioned the rough and the length of the rough. Maybe could you talk a little bit about how your approach, how a stance, how a club selection, that sort of thing changes when you're dealing with longer rough like you will this weekend and at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, fairways are going to be hugely important out here, and this golf course isn't as long as a U.S. Open golf course would be, so you can definitely kind of mix it up off the tee and hit some different clubs. But then there's a few holes out here where you're forced to hit driver. The par 5s obviously, and then there's some long par 4s out here as well, and it's a challenging layout around this golf course. And I think if you're precise, you can score really well, but if you're going to be a bit off, you're not going to score well around this golf course. You can't. This doesn't look like a place where you can fake it around. Yeah.
I saw you drop the puck at the Dallas Stars game a couple weeks back. Obviously, we have the rink hole out here as well. Are you a hockey guy by chance, or have you seen the rink hole as well?
I have seen the rink hole. I'm not a huge hockey guy. My trainer I've worked with since high school, trainer and chiropractor, he's Canadian, and so he loves hockey, and he's getting me a little bit more into it. I struggle to figure out the game because I never played it. All of the other sports are easy for me to figure out and get into because I played them and I kind of know the strategy and everything. Hockey, I'm still a little lost.
Who's your trainer?
Huh?
Who's your trainer?
Troy Van Beesen. Yeah.
Anybody else? I've got one last one just for fun. I happen to notice who you're talking to outside from the office. That's kind of me nerding out.
Yeah.
How did that come to be? Have y'all met before? Is he?
So this is the first time I met Andy in person. I guess we'll call him David Wallace for the sake. So Andy Buckley from the office came out today, and he's actually friends with the Sasori family. And so after the Masters this year, he sent me like a pretty hilarious like video, just with like a bunch of inside office jokes. And Andy's a big golf guy, so he came out and said hello today. He walked a few holes with us in the Pro-Am, and it was just fun getting to meet him and hang. He's pretty funny in person too, so we had a lot of fun out there.
Sporting the Dunder Mifflin shirt. I love it.
Yeah, he gave me some Dunder Mifflin swag too, so I'll have something to show the wife when she gets here next week.
That's fantastic. Okay, well, thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and best of luck this week.
Yeah, thanks.